Hey everybody, this is Charlie Musselwhite, and you're listening to Athena After Dark. I ain't lying. Thank you, baby.
Hey,
Charlie.
hey,
Stay there,
everybody.
Charlie.
That was
Dog
the
voice.
great Charlie Musselwhite. I'm so lucky. He was my dad in the movie Rough Boys. So, welcome everybody to Athena After Dark. I hope you had a great week. I'm so excited to be here. So happy everyone's here. Um, so we have a good show tonight. I have a really good friend, Miss Renea Lanier. She is here with us. We're going to get to some of that. First, I wanted to talk about a little bit more about Sturgis. Thanks again to everyone. Tony, Woody, Marilyn from the Buffalo Chip, Harley Davidson for the motorcycle. It was so good to see so many people meet. Thank you, Miss Ivy. I see you. My daughter did a keratin treatment before I left for Sturgis. I was deathly afraid that my hair was going to fall out in the sink. But it looks good. It's supposed to stay straight. So, yeah, I had a great time in Sturgis. Miss Laura, she was fantastic. All her friends, I met so many incredible people. But I wanted to talk for a minute about a new little thing that I'm going to do. So for the next couple weeks, I'm going to have you guys email me someone that you recently met that has had an impact or an influence on your life. And the reason that I say this is because when I was in Sturgis, I got to see great friends, Boots and Ruble and Miss Shadow. And I mean, just so many people, Jason, lots of Chicks on 66 stuff, lots of good people that I've known forever. Roadside Marty, Chris Callen, Heather Callen, everybody from the Cycle Source crew, the Olsen family, who Brittany rocks it. She's been drag racing and stuff like that. Some future guest ideas there. So, but when we were at the Buffalo Chip, they brought me up on stage and we kind of did like a little Athena After Dark questions and answers with a young lady who works for Harley Davidson. Her name is Alexa Goff. This young woman, absolutely, I think of her on a daily basis. She inspired me. She lit a fire under my ass. We went through a couple questions, and at the end, the last question I asked her said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she looked right at me and she said, "You." And it was so funny because I literally almost hit the floor. They said the look on my face was priceless. So I'm going to do as much as I can to get her on the show because she's incredible. Her job for Harley Davidson is to see how much it takes to blow up motorcycles. So she inspired me. There were a lot of nice people that I met that watched the show that have inspired me to do more, be better, a better person. Just they lit my world up. So it was absolutely fantastic. The next thing I wanted to talk about was our hearts and prayers go out to the people of Maui. Anything you do, please participate. See if there's some way that you can send funds. Make sure your charity is reputable if you're going to do so. And then send us a little signal that says, sends love. Hashtag Maui Strong. Our thoughts and prayers are going out there. Chris and her family, Miss Christine Summer Simmons, they've been out there helping out, volunteering. It's so amazing. And again, the devastation that they've gone through is just heart-wrenching. So whatever anyone can do to help out. Also, all across the country, Washington State's having wildfires. There's a lot of flooding, hurricane in California. We have about 6 brewing here in the Atlantic over there and one in the Gulf. So just keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. That would be a wonderful thing. And then to tonight's guest, I'm excited because not only is she a friend, but she is an amazing human being. She is a veteran. She's a rider. She's a softball mom, and she's a cake baker extraordinaire. I mean, for real. Okay, and Dawn's handing me something good. Oh, I get something. Yay, I get a treat. There's no booze. Maybe there's booze in there. You slipped me some today. No, just straight old water. Okay, that's okay. Thanks, babe. I love you. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up. So in September, the beginning, Labor Day, Cochise Chops has a shovelhead show. I'll look at the camera if you push the buttons. I love this, man. We're getting better at it. Okay, so September 4th, 2023 at the Boot Hill Saloon on Main Street. He's having a shovelhead show. It's called the Blue Plate Special for Labor Day. If you guys are in the area, you're looking for something to do, great fun, great times. Go and say hello and tell them I sent you. Shovelheads rock. Okay, after that, we have the smokeout September 7th through the 10th. Don and I will both be there. My bike will be there and will be working, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We always enjoy that. Lots of peeps. We look forward to seeing everybody. There's 3 special young men that I'm looking forward to seeing that I saw last year. So I know you guys know who I'm talking about. I hope to see you out there. All right, after smokeout, then we have to get ready for the block party. My daughter and I are going to the Indian Larry block party, September 16th, 2023. It's in Brooklyn, New York. If you haven't been, I heard it is the most off-the-chain party anywhere. So I'm looking forward to going with her. She's always traveled with me when she was a teenager and younger. Her and her brother went everywhere with me, and we did motorcycle everything. Now, they're adults, they're grown, they work jobs, and my grandson is 5, so he just started school. She couldn't come to Sturgis, but Grandpa's going to hang out with the little kid, and her and I are going to Brooklyn. So hope to see everybody there. That would be awesome. Next, we have Biketoberfest, the reason to be there, the Chopper Time show. It's Thursday, October 19th. You've got to be there. And again, while you're there, if you drive by, look up Miss Maggie's Southern Inn. That's a bed and breakfast. Usually during bike week and the rallies, she's pretty booked. But if you want to stay somewhere after all the events or during the winter when it's snowing wherever you are, just go ahead and make sure you do it. Stop by, check out her place. It is fantastic. We're going to stay there for Biketoberfest. So that's cool. So we're looking forward to seeing you all at Willie's. And then there's some, Cycle Source shows and stuff like that. So now, Sturgis, Miss Laura Clock and Helping with Horsepower did this fantastic bike. Diva Amy donated her Diva Glide, and they did a makeover on it. That's a drawing there. But if you go to helpingwithhorsepower.com, you can go ahead and you can get all the information and you can buy tickets. Tickets are on sale until the spring. They support the Abbott House, who's 85 years of helping children in their community. It's a fantastic program. And then if you want to volunteer or if you want to do a program where you are, just go ahead and go to the website again, helpingwithhorsepower.com. We'll have all our graphics up here soon. Don and I are figuring out how to push buttons, and it's kind of funny actually. But okay, so we have those. Okay, so I want to say first, thanks to our sponsor, Techno Research, for always supporting us, and to our future sponsors that we're in the process of working with. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I hope that we have a long working relationship together because this is fun. And I don't know, why not do what you love, right? Okay, so we have a new comment board over here. I get to see all the things that come in. So go ahead and type, make sure you type. And yeah, send me an email, athenaafterdark@aol.com or athena@athenaafterdark.com. Send me those emails and tell me someone new you've met that inspires you. Okay, I want to hear it, and I'll read them out here. Beginning of the month, we'll start that. And then I have some new contests coming up in September. So those of you who missed out on the last ones, I got some good ones. All right. Everybody knows I love my guests. I love hanging out with my guests. So we're going to skip a bunch of the things we normally do because, again, we're pushing buttons and learning how to put them all in there. I think I like this program, as you can see in the corner. Let's see. It's that corner right there. We're using Restream. So Don's laughing at me, but I think it's pretty cool. So I think we're going to buy the version to go ahead and we can put all our own graphics up there and get a little nifty, swifty with it all. Again, I love you all for watching and participating. It really does mean the world to me. Okay. Tonight, again, I have a fantastic guest, Miss Renee. She is, like I said, she's a veteran. She is a rider. She is a softball mom. We were just talking about soccer because Embry Riddle is looking at her along with a few other colleges. She is a softball, she's a go-getter. I've seen pictures. I can't wait to see her play live and for real. These kids today, man, they got it going on. They're smarter than we were when we were that age. They've got a little more focus, which I'm glad to see. Hopefully my grandson still has that same focus because I don't know what happened to us, but we're focused. Just I don't know if it's all on the athletics or the careers or what it is. I'd never thought motorcycles would be a career. It's still not really a career, and it's not a job. It's something I love to do, and I get to do it with my honey. So Miss Jenny Bass, oh my goodness, I love her. Hi, Lance, I see you from Leesburg. Yes, I survived another Sturgis. I did manage to do that. Don gets to, he likes to give me notes. So thank you, honey. I love you. You're so good to me. All right. So Miss Renee is a very good friend of mine. She is someone who inspires me as well. She has a crazy man like I do. He's always on the go. And he's very special to us, not only because we have a good working relationship, but because he's part of our Vagabond family. So, and yeah, I forgot to mention we are here live at Vagabond Studios. Pretty soon we'll get a backdrop. And if you guys can see, I got my Harley beer and my Iron Lily rag out there from Sturgis. And what's his name? Tank. That's Uncle Larry gave us Tank. So pretty soon I'll have some stuff on the walls. You'll see as we get decorating and going. So, okay, we're going to go through some pictures, and then we're going to get Miss Renee on here because, you know, I love my guests. Don's over there. He's looking cute at me. He's got those puppy dog eyes. All right, look, one badass biker bitch. Check her out. She's not messing around. Ma Barker got nothing on her, for sure. Okay. And then this is her and her beautiful daughter, Miss Amy. She's the softball star. That was a concert I missed out on. She's like, hey, you want to go? And I was like, so not available to go. So, okay. Next is, there she is. Okay, now there she is playing softball, but there she is turning into a grease monkey. She got to help Chris in the garage work on an old heritage that they have. It's awesome. And she's coming right into her own. So we got to keep it alive. I love it. And, you know, I love all the do-it-yourselfers. Okay, there's Miss Renee and Chris. They're getting ready for a ride. They just went on an awesome ride. I'm hoping she's going to tell us all about it, too. And she don't mess around either. She's got it going on. She definitely knows what she's doing. Go ahead. Coming over the bridge. She's like, hey, yeah. All right. Very good. Now, this is her and her ladies. This is a group. They ride together. That's fantastic. I love the group shots. Those are always good. My little blue thing. This is her and Chris. I love that picture. Like I said, they went on a phenomenal trip, so we're excited. Now, she does some stuff. She bakes for her daughter. They help raise funds for some of the charities and the softball team. This is the bunny. That's their pet. Gotta love a bunny. Anybody can have a bunny in the house. It's a patient, kind, loving person. Can't imagine the pellets. So, you know. Okay, group shot. It's like, I got my finger going all around. You can see my finger. Nobody else can see my finger, babe. They can? You can see my finger? I'm so bad. There we go. So there's her Navy shot. Look at that. Thank you for your service, Miss Renee. That is so awesome. Okay. Okay, cakes. When I tell you, stop giggling at me. When I tell you she makes awesome cakes, you can't see me, but I'm making a mess of everything right now. Fantastic cakes. Look at that. Go ahead, click to the next cake. She's a fantastic baker. If you need cakes
all of it
done,
except for the very top piece.
You can eat, oh, that last one, you can eat all of it except for the very top.
All of it except for
all of it.
The one
right.
little thing.
Next cake. Man,
all
these cakes are fantastic. Now listen, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Our kids were into it. Seems like it's still around. Okay, we're getting to my favorite here. Graduation cake. Gotta love that.
Oh, that's the one where you can't eat the hat.
You can't eat the hat. Right.
Part of the hat.
Right. Wedding cakes. So gorgeous. If you need her to bake you a cake, we can fly her in. So look at that. I'm telling you what, like,
you can eat all of that.
You can eat all of that. Is that not amazing? Man, she's a cake boss. And of course, you got to have that shot. That's like one of the best cakes ever. That's too funny. Okay, we're getting close here. All right, look at that dragon. Is that not amazing? That is so fantastic. My grandson wants to be a dragon for Halloween. There they are having fun. That's her and Chris. That's how it is. That's how we roll. Push them in. Land on him if you have to. That gorgeous smile. I love her. She's so fantastic.
She's a Navy girl. Throw him in and then save him.
She's a Navy girl.
All right, throw him in and then save him.
Throw him in it and then rescue him. Oh, that's cute. I like that. You're so good. And there they are, riding shots. That other one's on a ferry. I got to hear about that. So we got one more picture here. There it is. Look at that. You know, save the best for last. All right, so we're going to bring in Miss Renee. I'm super excited to have her here. Yay, we get to ask questions. Hi, gorgeous.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
Good.
Very good. How was your day?
It was great. I was off. No work today, so that was a good thing.
Traditional biker stuff. Gotta love that. There's no way. I don't like I like Mondays off because you can go to the grocery store. There's nobody there. Everybody's working. They're doing stuff. So you get all your
I
stuff
agree.
right. Now
Or we just sit on the couch and do nothing.
that's
what
always an option
we
too.
do.
Hey, every once in a while, that's a good thing to do on a Monday. You got to reflect on all the things that you have to get done during the week. And then you blank it all out and eat ice cream and watch movies.
You know, how did
I
you?
do. It's a thing. It's a thing. So, what have you been up to lately?
Actually, the last couple weeks we've just been kind of taking it easy. Softball ended for the summer and is getting ready to start back up for the spring. I'm sorry, for the fall. So we've just been trying to get back into school and busy with her starting her junior year. So that's pretty much it. Haven't been doing much of anything.
Nice. And she's got some scouts looking at her too, right?
She does. Yep. She's got that going on. So we're excited for her. I just want her to be happy. Go where it makes you happy, you know. That's
That's
important.
what
Like with careers, you know. If I'm fortunate, I have a career I love. I love what I do. So work isn't so bad even on the bad days, you know.
right. And you're a healthcare worker, but you do ultrasounds, right?
Correct. Yep, ultrasound. Been doing that over 25 years.
That is fantastic.
Mhm.
And then you were in the Navy, so you constantly give of yourself. You're always in service to others, your
I
kids, your community, your
yeah,
country.
I enjoyed it. I honestly, everyone has their own opinion, but I think that, you know, in the society we're in now, if all kids had to do a couple years of service right after graduation, I think we'd be in a better place. I think it's human nature to spoil our kids. I think we
Yes.
always want to give them what we perceive we didn't have.
Hmm.
I think that if they had to do that, might be a little bit better off. But
Yeah, it gives a good foundation,
yeah,
and
Sounds like
too
they can all handle it.
yeah, not everyone can handle it, but it's that same thing too. That a lot of times it was always the servicemen, but there's a lot of service women that go along with it. So, and nowadays it's more open to everyone. They hear about it more, so there's at least it's being put out there that again, you can serve your country any way you possibly can, but it doesn't. You don't have to be a man. You can be a woman.
no,
It's
and I was in aviation in the Navy, you know, so it was different. It wasn't, you know, ships, and I was in and out before they were putting women on for 6-month deployments. So I was in and out before they even started that. Right after I got out, they did the first women out at sea for a 6-month deployment. We would go out and do workups, you know, for a couple weeks at a time and carrier qualifications, stuff like that. But nothing until after I had gotten out. So I honestly didn't get that experience, you know.
right. And when you say aviation, what part of aviation were you in?
I actually, nobody bothered to tell me when you first report to your duty station that you, shh, you don't volunteer information. When I first got there, the captain wanted, he was, you know, does anyone here have computer skills or computer background? And I did, because all through high school, I worked over at the airport. So I have worked on computers quite a bit at the time, you know, back in the floppy disk days. But so I was like, me, I do. I didn't know you don't volunteer. So he took me, and I ended up basically um, not really getting a chance to do what I had gone to school for and train, because he's like, nope, you're staying with me until I retire, because he liked me.
Oh,
But it was good in a way, and it was bad. It was good in the fact that I didn't have to go scrub bird guts out of jet engines, because
okay.
when you first report, you go what they call TAD, or temporary duty, temporary additional duty, to wash racks, which is where you're scrubbing bird guts out of A6 intruder, which is the aircraft that I was attached to, or F-14s, or whatever the aircraft was in your command. So I ended up going to what they called, at the time when I got there, it was called Mat Wing 1. And then it went to Comtac Wing Land, and they were just in charge of all the A6 intruder squadrons on the East Coast. So it was, like I said, it was great because I worked in a command that was mostly officers. So
Right.
really got to see a lot and I learned a lot. Got to work on some really, really cool, just standard operating procedures and work on that process, like night vision goggles and stuff like that. So it was really neat. As a 18-year-old kid, I'm like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah.
Better than scrubbing bird guts.
Definitely. I have to agree with that. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more here when we get into some questions, but have you baked any cool cakes lately?
Actually, I did. I did a really cute one for Samantha's best friend. It was her sweet 16. So I did a cow cake. So it was cow and then purple in the middle tier. It was 3 tiers. It came out really pretty.
Nice. Very nice.
Cow on the top of it. And I keep telling Chris I want one, but he won't get me one.
No.
My daughter has a cow. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
I know.
It's a bunch of shit.
But in theory, fuzzy cows are so cute.
Yes, that is true. They're cute when they're little too. This thing's growing and now his attitude's growing too. Yeah, and she didn't listen to me when I told her to snip him when he was young. So now he's growing horns and testicles. So it's a challenge. Oh yeah, and every day is a new day for sure. For sure. Okay, so are you ready for some questions?
Sure.
All right. So, cats or dogs?
Dogs and a bunny.
Okay. Dogs and a bunny. Okay. Are you big dog or small dog?
I like big dogs.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I love
right.
dogs.
That's why you hang around with Chris, right?
Right.
He's a big doggy. I know. He's so funny. He grows scruffy. He's like Don. He grows a little on the chin, and you're like, come here, puppy. Come here, puppy.
So I'm
Is he it's getting a little longer?
Yeah, it's a little longer. So he'll cut it off, and then he'll start it all over again. It never goes away.
Yeah, he keeps it. He definitely keeps it. Okay. Apples or oranges?
Both.
Both.
Cool. I like them both.
You like them both?
Yeah.
All right. Are you a peanut butter on your apples kind of girl, or?
Oh, love peanut butter on my apples. Yummy.
And the oranges. Have you ever had a chocolate covered orange?
I have not.
I've seen them. I haven't tried them. I'll have to get some, and I'll come up, and we'll definitely get together, and for sure. Yeah. Okay. So, hotel or camping?
These days we've done all hotels, but I'm not opposed to camping. I actually grew up camping. We did a lot of camping as a kid. Tent camping. No camp. My dad.
Right, no campers. I don't know if that necessarily qualifies as camping.
Right.
Like when you have an RV, that's kind of more like low grade hotel. It's a tow-it hotel.
Right.
That's too funny. Okay, so slow, fast, or faster?
I'm a fast girl.
You're a fast girl?
Yeah. He's always yelling at me. He'll pull up next to me and be like, slow down, slow down. So I get in trouble.
Do you have a speedometer on your motorcycle?
I do.
You just don't look at it?
Nah.
I specifically left that part off.
So you
absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't know, officer.
Right. I didn't realize traffic was going that fast. Miss Ivy says it's glamping. She has an RV. They have a little camper.
Yes.
It's glamping. I like glamping. I can deal. That's funny. So, sunshine or moonshine?
Sunshine. I like sunshine.
Sunshine. Ever get into the moonshine?
Oh yeah, here and there.
Not that I'm going to talk about. That's too funny.
I'm staring.
So,
moonshine cherries over on the bar right now.
Oh my God. We used to do the rum soaked cherries. I don't know if I could do moonshine cherries.
Him and my dad got into them at Christmas.
Oh yeah. Damn, we got to be at their house at Christmas time, babe. They got the cherries. This year we probably will this year. We're actually
That's your thing.
That's what?
Your rule, prime rib.
Prime rib. Oh, I'm a prime rib girl.
I do prime rib for Christmas dinner. Yep.
I don't like turkey. I'm not a fan of turkey.
No.
And then
the ham.
We went between the turkey and the ham. One year I asked AJ, I said, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, we have the funds are low disease. What is it you want for Christmas? He's like, taco dinner. I'm like, Mexican
Enchiladas.
for Christmas? He's like, yeah, enchiladas and tacos. So it's kind of been like a tradition where we have Mexican every year. So it'd be nice to go somewhere else and get some real food.
We'll work that out. We can do that.
Yeah, definitely. And now the kids are grown. It's so weird because, sometimes we go over here, go over there. And I've always been the one, you cook all the time. The whole
Yeah.
family's there. So maybe you never know. We'll show up on your doorstep. We'll
That's
bring
right.
our own. We'll
Perfectly
bring our
well.
own Tupperware too
Yep.
for leftovers. That's how that works, right?
It does.
Okay,
Ask Chris.
it
I
does.
cook for just the three of us. I cook for an army all the time.
Yeah.
Not a Navy.
Not a Navy. No, not a Navy. She doesn't want to cook for that many. She's
For
just
the
cooking for the
Navy.
Army. That's too funny.
That's awesome.
So, speaking of food, what is your favorite road food?
Oh, this is terrible, but I love it. Tater tots, loaded tater tots. Got to have
Loaded?
all gooey stuff on them, and yeah, tater tots. Chris,
Bacon and sour cream too.
yep, bacon, sour cream, cheese, chives. Yep, throw it all on there.
Okay, I like that. Tots are hard to get sometimes.
They
Certain
are.
parts of the country you can't get them.
Yep, when I find them,
You gotta have them. Yeah, we'll have to go up in Palm City where my daughter lives. They have this place called Rippers, and they have like the loaded tots. She loves them, and they're like $4.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Middle of nowhere. That's why it's like $4. Because down here, that's like $40.
No
You
joke.
know how that goes. That is okay. So, what is your absolute favorite song?
Leather and Lace, Stevie Nicks.
Oh,
Don Henley.
very nice.
Yep.
Is there a story behind that one?
No, I just have always loved that song. Always loved it.
That's too funny. I love Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks has a.
Yep.
Her and Christy McVie, they each had their own sound, but they were fantastic together.
Yep.
Okay. If you were a cocktail, what would you be?
Jameson and ginger.
Jameson and ginger. Oh, my son. He likes his Jameson. That's
love
good. That's good.
Yep.
Your dad drink Jameson?
No, my dad is a Scotch man. My dad likes his Johnny Walker and yep.
Nice.
Sometimes he'll drink Chivas, but those are my dad's two favorite, Johnny Walker or Chivas.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good. Now, your dad was in the military too?
No, my grandfather was. My papa.
Okay.
My mom's dad was.
Neat.
Yeah. And then my
Yeah.
mom's brother was, as well as, I have a couple cousins that also were in the Navy. So it just seemed like the thing to do. I wanted money for college. My dad owns an auto shop. He's a mechanic. Mechanics they're not wealthy and they don't usually have
No.
funds for their kids.
Right.
So if I
Look at
wanted
that.
school, I joined the military because I needed money for college.
That is so cool. That's how it's done too. And they can still do it today. So
Yep.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. And you get
Yep.
the real education too. They don't
Yeah.
cut it short because they appreciate your service, but it reciprocates.
Yep.
And there's a lot of benefits too, right? Like health benefits and GI loans and
Yeah.
things like that.
When I was in,
Except for that
I
lead poisoning.
had shore duty. So I was stationed in Virginia Beach, Virginia at Naval Air Station, Athena. So I enrolled in the local community college and I was taking classes because I had shore duty. What am I going to do?
Right.
It's paid at 100%. At the time it was. I don't know what it's paid anymore. So while I was there, I came pretty close to completing my associate's degree. So that when I came back, I didn't have a lot of prerequisites or anything to do when I went to ultrasound. When I went to do the ultrasound program. So
That's so neat. That's
Mhm.
awesome. That is amazing. Okay, ready for some real questions?
I am. Let's see.
Okay. So how long have you been riding?
Growing up, I would ride dirt bikes and stuff like that with my brother, my dad, and stuff. And back in the day when they were 3-wheelers, not just 4-wheelers, back when they were the dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Sid did that. But as far as on my own riding, about 10 years. It was my
About
goal
10
to
years.
do it for my 40th birthday. And, by the time I turned 40, and that's what I did. And then I bought my bike for me for my 40th birthday. That's what I did.
Neat. Now, did you take a class or did you just go for it?
I went and did the endorsement class and did that, and then got on my bike. I took the class. My dad and his friend at the time, Johnny O, he would buy and sell bikes at auction. That was my dad's best friend. God bless him. He passed away. Miss him like crazy.
I know Johnny O very well.
Yeah, my dad misses
yeah.
him. Those are some of my favorite stories were their stories, hearing them tell the stories of their craziness. But he knew what I was looking for. And I had happened to be out of town, and he called me. He's like, I got your bike. I'm like, what? And he's like, I got your bike. It's in my shop. And he got it at auction, and I went, and I didn't even know what color it was until, because I didn't care. I wanted the Softail Slim. So it's a 2013, Softail Slim, and it was a repo. It had 900 miles on it. So,
nice.
Yep. So here I am.
So got now.
That is, how many got on it now?
Not as many as I would like. Probably. I want to say between 25 and 30, I think.
That's okay, but you have other bikes that you ride too. That's not the only bike.
Yeah. Dad, he had, minor stroke. He's doing okay, but his equilibrium and balance are off. So for the last 2 years, I've been riding his Road King as well. So I've got his Road King and I've got my Slim.
And then you got a nice blue Heritage too in the garage.
That we have. Chris is actually getting ready to change the bars out. He just measured and ordered them.
Very nice. That's so good. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things, because he was telling me how Sammy helps him. She came out to help him in the garage. That's the get greasy picture that I showed. I love that, because we need to keep that going for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She's so smart too.
Yeah. And she likes to go out there and get dirty. It doesn't bother her.
Yeah. Softball too. Kind of slide into home plate.
Yeah. Oh, that's her favorite thing. The joke is, you look at my seats and they're leather, but the stitching is clay orange.
Oh my God. From the field, right?
Yeah. You look at, yep. Yeah.
Crazy. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Right.
Yeah. Supposedly that takes all that stuff out of it.
It's fine. I cover the seats. I yell at her, put this thing on the seat.
That is too cool.
That's all right.
So you kind of told us what drew you to the military. That was because you wanted to get an education.
School. Yeah, I wanted money for school. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you for your service. We do appreciate that.
Hi.
And all the other veterans out there. We wouldn't be here doing what we're doing if it wasn't for all of you. So that's just history goes on. Okay. So how did you get into motorcycles?
Just like I said, mostly growing up around it. My dad and my godfather, everybody always had they had motorcycles.
Was there someone when you were getting ready to turn 40, was there someone around you that was riding and you're like, okay, I want to ride my own?
My dad. My thing was I really wanted to ride with my dad. And in all honesty, because of the stroke and everything, I actually have one ride I remember doing with my dad before. And it was funny because it was the same thing. My dad's like, hello, we want to turn around and go back the other way. He had to catch me to come up next to me.
You're a speed demon.
Yeah, we were over by the water. We'd gone by the Seal Museum. It was on that road right out there in front of the Seal Museum. And my dad, he's like, slow it down, turn around.
Right, that's up in Jupiter.
Yeah,
Stewart. Yeah, that's just east of where my daughter lives.
Juno Beach or something.
Yeah. So, how did you get into baking?
Always grew up. My mom was always cooking and always baking. My grandmother did too. I mean, I remember being in kindergarten. I would come home. She's been gone many years, but I would come home. Couldn't wait to run home from the bus. Kindergarten because Nanny had always made me something. There was some pie or homemade donuts or something there. Therefore, now we know why I always had a weight problem.
Well, that's the good stuff too. When your grandmother makes something,
Oh,
that's
No
like
problem.
it.
Right,
Homemade
when you're eating good
donuts
stuff,
from
it's not a
scratch,
problem.
or
God.
strawberry pie. Everything was from scratch. Nothing came out of a box. No cake came out of a box with my mom or my grandmother. My nan.
Right.
It was all homemade. Everything.
And you use all the fondant and all that stuff. I mean, those
Yeah,
cakes that you make are fantastic.
I'll do both. A lot of things. The blue and white beach cake that you showed, that was all buttercream. So that's why
Ooh,
I look at it. There's a little bit of change in the color, and that's just because it was hot. And I try to
right.
cake down here in Florida, buttercream doesn't always, you know, you got to be careful because it will melt.
Right. And I was telling everybody
A lot with
before I brought you in, I was telling everybody we can fly you in anywhere they want you to bake a cake. It's not a problem. Oh my goodness. That's the thing. We're gonna get you baking some real cakes. I'm gonna take you with me to rallies, give me my
And
cake baker extraordinaire.
I did the for the Christmas party a couple years ago. I did the cake for Harley. It was
Hmm.
last minute. They're like, "Hey, can you do a cake for us for the Christmas party?" So I did that, and I just did the Palm Beach Harley Davidson logo on a rosette red and orange cake
You're
with some.
so talented.
But I enjoy it. I find that my thing is I do work a full-time job,
Mhm.
so my full-time job, I work 4 10s, I work 7 to 5. So I got to be careful what I commit to, because if I have enough time, I don't stress myself out because I'm OCD. So Chris laughs at me because I'll commit to doing something. I have a hard time saying no, you
I
know?
understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that. That's you did the cupcakes for a cause at
Yeah.
the dealership. Didn't you guys?
Trying to raise money for her. I've done it for her travel team as well as her high school team. Like, they need new equipment, they need new this, or they need new uniforms or whatever. So we raised money, and they're really great at where Chris works at Palm Beach Harley Davidson, the owner there.
Yes.
Like, whenever, let us know. So they're good about that because they know it's for the kids.
Right.
We go in
And can we say the name of the high school so if there's any
there. Yeah,
benefactors out there that want to
yeah.
send
So
large money
high
to
school, and she plays for DME Academy out of Daytona, which is a showcase team. So yeah,
okay.
because that's all, their travel team. That's the big one. So we're traveling. We've got, I think, 6 or 8 tournaments she's got this fall. So
Wow.
mostly in the state of Florida, but everywhere from up by Newberry to Winter Park. We're all over the place. I got to look and see. Titusville, they play, quite a few tournaments up there in the Titusville area. So, but
And they
it's,
need equipment and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, they do. They don't, where the level that she's at right now, they all have their own gloves, their own bats, their own, all that. But you have to, because each kid has a preference of what type of bat
Right.
they want a balanced bat, an end loaded bat. It depends upon all these things I've had to learn because I didn't understand what that was. I played soccer, and I was hoping one of my kids would.
Okay.
No, she had to
Yeah,
pick a softball.
my friend Jen, her son Thomas, her daughter Emma, she rides at the World Equestrian Center. She is
Oh yeah,
fantastic. She's
that's
been
another
around.
expensive hobby.
Right, exactly. And then he's a soccer star. He's a goalie. I
Yeah,
mean, he is, and he does. He's at Embry Riddle. So yeah,
yep,
they have really good programs there, though. So
yeah, and
that's
same.
cool.
So then you've got more equipment. You've got the catch
Yes.
equipment, and the $500
Yeah.
bat, the $500 glove,
Oh my.
the $500 catcher's gear every time you turn around. But it's good as long as she's not in trouble and staying up.
Right.
Go
Wait
for
till
it.
she's cashing the $5 million check.
Yeah. Don says, wait till she's cashing the $5 million. Hey, like I don't know about seeing myself in this camera here. I flipped my hair one time, and I'm like a hot mess over here. Don't look at the prompter. Oh my God. It's been so crazy coming back from Sturgis. It's just been nonstop, like 7 days, because you can't go away for 6 days and then think you could come home and take a day off. No, it's not happening.
Need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah, and this was the first time that I went to Sturgis that actually seemed like more of a vacation than, I mean, it wasn't a vacation, but it was a celebration. It was cool. It was really neat. So speaking of Sturgis, I'm going to ask you. So I'd like to know your favorite rides, your favorite motorcycle to ride, and your favorite route to ride.
Okay. My favorite motorcycle ride, honestly, was this last one that we did. We had so much fun, you know. I enjoyed Skyline Drive. We did that whole Skyline Drive because we put the bikes on the auto train, got off in Lorton, Virginia. Then we rode up into Pennsylvania and went to Gettysburg and saw that. And then we down from there to Virginia and did Skyline Drive. And then we got off Skyline Drive and we went through, did the Blue Ridge, did all the Blue Ridge. And then we got off and made a donation at the casino in Cherokee.
We call it a donation, tax deductible donation, right? It's
Yeah,
charitable donation, right? That is so funny.
I really enjoy it. I like, you know, growing up down here. I mean, I'm originally from upstate New York, but I've only ridden down here. So all those
Everything's
roads,
flat.
oh yeah, everything's straight and flat. So then you get up
Mhm.
there and, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, and my bike being so low, you know, I'm always afraid, you know, you go into the turn and you're like, you know, you grind
do
the
that.
floorboards,
Uh-huh.
you know, so
Did the elevation give you any anxiety?
the elevation, no, it wasn't that. I think with me, it was more, we went through rain and those roads, wet roads and the rain. And then you know, when we went, you wouldn't think it would have gotten cold, but you go through those mountains and it gets really
Oh,
cold.
yeah.
You'll be sweating your butt off and then go into the mountain and then you're freezing. But then you hit rain while you're in there. So you're cold. Like my fingers were numb, you know, and I wasn't expecting that in July.
Right.
You don't
In the
expect
daytime.
that in July. But
Yeah.
so just when I was more apprehensive, I would say, you know, and more cautious just because the roads were wet. And then at one point we'd gone by and there was a sign. Chris was like, "Did you see that sign?" And it's got caution, and then it's got the curve, and then the guy on the motorcycle doing the Superman.
Oh, shit. Where
That'd
did
be
you
one
see
to
that
see.
sign? I don't think I'd like that sign.
Yeah, so you're like, it was on the Blue Ridge. Yeah.
So that's like, don't go off the edge. You could be doing a Superman thing.
Yeah, it was a motorcycle. It wasn't a car. You know, it was a guy on a motorcycle doing the Superman. Yeah, and he's like
Oh, shit.
doing the
I get anxiety when I see 10% steep grade. I'm like, oh, and then you see curves, and I'm just like, because it's flat here, you know.
yeah,
And
we're straight and flat.
I've gotten better, but it still
Yeah,
creates great anxiety. It
it's.
does do that.
I just, you know, the thing is, when I see that, or I slow down. You know, I'll
Mhm.
slow down, and you know, he's like, okay, he goes about his business and he rides, and I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, you go at your own pace. That way
Yep.
you don't have to, yeah, that
Yeah,
cuts down on the anxiety. At least it
it
cuts
does.
down on the
Yep.
accidents.
And
That's for sure.
or when what bothers me is when, you know, you're on those roads and somebody rides up on my butt. That drives me.
Mhm.
You know, just back off and give me a little bit of space. It's not, you know, I'm doing the speed limit. I might not be doing 20 miles an hour over because I don't know these
Right. Oh, yeah.
time.
California, coming through the desert in the canyons, and you're going downhill, like, you know, at some grade, and it's curving, but there's tractor trailers 3 in a row
Yeah,
behind you, and they're
yeah.
hauling ass, and you're just like, oh my God, oh my
I'm
God. Anxiety. Ah, that's
Yeah,
too
and it,
funny.
like you said, it's the roads there's curves, but the road is on an angle too. So you're like, you're on an angle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, your bank angle sensor is off in your head. It's like, yeah, no, wait, something's not right. And I ride with women, you know, of course, they're
Yeah,
from other places. They zoom through that stuff like it's nothing. They go at it and it's like, okay, I hope one day when I grow up I can
when
do
I'm a
that.
big girl, yeah, when I'm a big girl
Yeah.
too.
Pull my big girl panties up and go. That's too
Yeah.
funny.
So,
So, in your favorite bike to ride?
um, you know, that's the thing. I like mine. I'm very comfortable on mine because I've been riding it more. But the more I ride Dad's, his bike is just so, it's wonderful, and it just leans and goes, and I love it. It's much.
That's the red Road King, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
2005 Road King. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
five.
that's a nice twin
And
cam.
it's beautiful. I mean, his bike, I joke with it, I call it Princess. So the last
Okay.
when we took it, we did that. I took that bike when we went to Leesburg. And Chris and I were laughing because we were taking pictures and sending them and messages to my dad all along the way. Hey, Princess says, hey, how you doing? Thanks for letting me vacation, you know?
How cool. That's awesome. That's cool
Yeah.
though. At least it's cool that you got to go for your ride with him, and then it's cool that, you still
Yeah.
can say, "Hey, check it out, Dad," Now
Yeah.
his equilibrium is forever just like
He's
pretty much shot?
Well, this is the thing. My dad, he's like, I'm going to come out and go for a ride. I'm like, okay, Dad, and he doesn't just because he knows he likes to think he's going to come ride his bike. And if he can, and if he's comfortable and he's safe, I'll go for it. Let's go for a ride. But I think the reason for the last 2 years he hasn't is because he knows. I mean, he gets dizzy going up and down stairs sometimes,
Right.
So it's just because where the stroke was on him, it was in the cerebellum, and it messed with his balance.
His balance. And I'll tell you what, when I was in Sturgis, I actually drove a sidecar. We might want to get him one of those because that was fun, and you don't have to put your feet down, so you don't have to worry
Right.
about it, right?
Yeah.
That's too funny. Okay, so I'm gonna ask my next question. I have my phone here. That's my prompter tonight because our new streaming service doesn't have all that, so I kind of got to ad lib it. But it's cool. I'm gonna get a board or something. We're still working out the bugs, but we're having fun. You're our first guest on the new
Woohoo!
platform, so that's pretty good. Okay, so what's your favorite rally?
I like Leesburg. It's more laid
Okay.
back. I really enjoy it. I want to get to Sturgis. That's on my to-do list, but it's kind of hard with being able to get that amount of time off.
Yeah, we're gonna plan for it. I got the skinny on how to get the good Airbnb. So I think we're in for next year. So if we start planning it now, I think we're good. Even if you go for 4 or 5 days, it's
Right.
cool. It's still plenty. It's nice to go out there. You can travel. You can ride 1,000 miles in each direction. You know what
Right.
I mean? And still never see all of it. So there's one spot that's like Dances with Wolves, like Kevin
Ooh.
Costner view,
Yeah.
and you just go. It's out. I guess it's kind of close to Mount Rushmore, like in
Mhm.
a Keystone area. There's a KOA, and they have horseback riding, but there's this one like mountaintop, hilltop, whatever. And when you go out and you look, it's like this cascading view, and you feel like you're in a Kevin Costner movie. It's pretty cool. So we have to make it a point to get out there for sure.
Yeah, I do. I want to do that.
Then Sturgis will be your favorite rally.
I'm
So
sure
I do like Leesburg though. It is laid back. It is very,
that's nice. And that's as close as we get to the hills around here.
right. Yeah, that's not a bridge that goes over the highway, right? That's
By us,
I tell everybody that.
closest thing we have to a mountain around us is the Blue Heron Bridge.
Yes.
Going over
Yes.
Island.
That is too funny. Yeah, people they look at me funny when I say that. And it's like, well, it's the God's honest truth. It's the overpass. That's the highest mountain we have. Unless you're measuring Mount Trashmore, and we don't ride on that. So it's pretty much the way that goes. Okay, so what's the most fun you've ever had on a motorcycle? It doesn't have to be G-rated.
Gosh, that's
You're almost blushing.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's, been honestly, you know what? I think the first trip that Chris and I did together when we first got together, the joke is that we've ridden through tropical storms and tornadoes. Every weather event that there is, we've pretty much ridden through together. And then a couple years ago, when we did the other one, we went up and did the Tail of the Dragon and all that one. On the way up there, we went through a tornado. So that just left some great memories.
No doubt.
Yeah, we wanted to stop in Valdosta, couldn't. There were no rooms. We tried. We stopped and no rooms. Okay, what's the next town that you have a room available? and it ended up being Tifton. So we're trying to go from Valdosta up to Tifton. And I want to say they said it was either 35 miles or 35 minutes. I can't remember. And we're like, okay, we can do that before storm hits. But then we didn't expect a tornado to hit. So
Oh,
we're
shit.
driving on, it's pitch black. Cars are all pulled off on the road. And it was like a wall. There was nothing. And then all of a sudden it was torrential downpour. We look over onto the southbound lanes of the highway and it is lighting up. And then our earpieces and our helmets are going, rah, rah. We're
Oh
like,
my.
"Holy." So we had about 2 miles, I think, to the exit. And, at that point, when it's that bad, you're worse if you pull off and sit on the side of the road. So everyone else had pulled over. So we're just kind of trucking along, but it's pouring rain. And then, we get there and we walk in to check into the hotel, and the guy was like, "Did you just come in through that?" And I was like, "On a motorcycle?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "There's a tornado out there." And I'm like,
Oh,
kind of
shit.
figured.
Yeah, well, we figured as much after we drove through it, right?
And hearing the rah, rah, the notice on our phones, and the earpieces. So
Right.
so I
That's
think
funny.
that,
That's awesome because I think Don and I, we same thing, some of the things that people would think are the worst things you go through happen to be the most fun because you get through it. And then
yeah,
because you don't know someone until you travel with them.
true.
Like, you can
I'm
hang out
good
at their house all you want, but
cold or hungry, then I get hangry. If I'm freezing cold or I'm hungry,
yeah, I don't like the cold. I'm not, and wet cold is worse.
it
You
is.
know, cold is fine if you have to deal with it, but when it's wet cold, it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Like, and you never ask could it be any worse because damn sure straight it'll get worse. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure.
So then what's the worst experience you've ever had on a motorcycle?
Um, being cold and wet.
I love it. Now, do you do it like you start out and then you don't know that there's rain coming, or you do and you choose not to put the rain suit on and you just keep going?
No, I think what it is like if we know there's bad storm coming, we pull over and we put on the rain gear. But if you don't, if you're, I'm one of those. If we're almost there, just freaking go. I'm not going to
Yeah.
10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it's going to take, and put the rain gear on. If we're almost there, let's just go through it. And down here, it's so hot, it's so humid. That
Mhm.
rain gear is miserable. You're sweating your balls off. So,
Yes. Yes,
uh,
definitely.
and usually here, by the time you get through it, you ride for a few minutes and you're dried
And
off.
you
You know what I mean?
dry it off. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not like that when you go north.
No. No. No, and it's really cold in the summer compared to here. It's like,
Yeah,
what
like
in the
I said, and I'm always freezing. Chris
That's
last
me too.
always, sitting on the couch with 5 blankets,
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
hoodie,
I
and
take a hoodie everywhere I go.
yeah,
Everywhere. Yeah, the grocery store's freezing. It's 100 degrees outside and they want to make it 69 in there. So when you walk in, you're just like, oh my God. And you think they'd want you to stay a little longer and buy more groceries, but you can't.
you're
It's
like, I
too
gotta
cold.
get out.
I gotta, that's how it is for me. Okay, so who is your childhood hero?
My pop-up, my mom's dad. Yeah, my pop-up. He hung the moon. I mean, I was in 6th grade when he passed away, but he had such an impact on my life that I say to this day, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for having him in my life, because he lived with us, until he had passed
Okay,
away. So yeah, definitely my pop-up. And my kids call
nice.
my dad pop-up, and my dad's like that too. Right close second behind him would definitely be my dad. Just always so hardworking,
Mhm.
built his business from the ground up and still in business today. When it comes to, auto shops, not many, are
Can
around.
say that.
He started his business. Um, he's been in business uh, over 45 years. You know, yep.
Wow. Makes us feel old, doesn't it? Seems like just yesterday you were running around, you
Yeah.
know.
My dad
You
says,
die.
can't be 49 years old.
Yeah,
I'm Peter Pan, I'm only 14.
right.
Are you that old?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That is so cool. Okay, so then who is your motorcycle hero?
My motorcycle hero, that's going to be my guy right here. That's going to be Chris, because he just gets on and goes. He rides rain or shine. He don't care. He's on the bike most days, you know. Lately he's been mad at, you know, because they've been working on the roof here at the house, so they've kind of had us blocked in the garage a little bit, blocking the driveway off and on for 3 months.
Oh,
But yeah,
Cranky Bear.
yes,
Yeah.
he's been
Yeah,
cranky about that.
Cranky Bear, Cranky Bear. Almost time for hibernation.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but yeah,
That
so
is
absolutely, you know,
that's
he's
a good hero to
really,
have. He's a
yeah,
good one
he
for
is.
sure. Okay. So, what is your most cherished motorcycle memory?
I think it was Need More Road. I think it has to be Need More Road.
Need More Road.
Yeah, when we were on the one motorcycle trip we took, it was in North Carolina. We went up, and Chris likes the GPS. And when we do our trips, we tend to do a lot of the scenic route, you know, and he'll set the
Right.
GPS to scenic route because we want to enjoy it. We want to see the
Mhm.
countryside. We want to see, you know, other stuff. So we were going to Iron Horse. We were on our way to Iron Horse Motorcycle Lodge, and the GPS took us this route, and it ended up being a dirt road with the ravine on the side and the mountain on the other side, and it was just forever. And there's, you know, some with switchbacks and dirt road,
No
and
guardrails, none of
no,
that.
yeah, and Chris, you know, just praying we don't get a puncture in the tire because it's a dirt road.
Right.
But it took,
That's
you know, I can't even remember how many miles it was. And then when we got there, um, you know, I was like, did we take a wrong turn? How did we end up? And that was another one where we, you know, it was during COVID or short, you know, that spring after COVID. So many things were closed. So when we had gotten up that morning, we were like, oh, well, you know, there wasn't anything good at the hotel. We're like, let's just get on the road. We'll stop and eat. Well, we're going. And I want to say it was 10 hours and we hadn't, and I get hangry.
angry. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So
That
I think it was that. It was definitely. And when we got there, it was like, sweet baby Jesus, we made it.
we made it, right? So then my next question is I got to know what's your most memorable baking moment? Like you
Um,
make some incredible cakes, but I know that it's not all
yeah.
fluff and stuff, you
No,
know.
it's not. I think one of them, and Chris will remember this. When I did the one cake you showed, that look, the wedding cake that looks like a birch tree. It looks like tree trunk.
Oh yeah.
That
Hmm.
was for a friend of ours' wedding. And I was doing the one, and that cake actually, you know, the fondant I put on it was white. So I all hand painted all of that with the knots and everything to look like that. So I made the knots on it with fondant. So on the one tier, because it was such a big cake, getting the fondant to lay right, I got so irritated. I like ripped it off. I'm like, I'm never going to do this. It's never going to be right. And I throw it in the garbage and I
Oh, and-
start all over again.
oh my God. How
Probably
long did that take you?
days, because when I do the you know, cakes that big, I start, because I do work, you know, I work full time. Um,
Fat cake.
so nope, that's
Nope.
um,
Let's see.
not that one. There's one,
Go
that one
back the other way.
with the Jameson cake.
They're just incredible. Oh,
Yeah,
the first one. I know which one.
probably the first one. Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one.
that one.
Look
That's
at
funny. Yeah. The sunflowers, you made all that? All that was edible?
Everything on that cake was edible except for the very top, the topper, the
Okay.
pigs on the motorcycles. That was, you know, his mom's. So they used that. But yeah, the sunflowers were made out of fondant, um, everything. So
I
like,
love the carving in the tree too. Their initials.
yeah,
That was so
yep.
cool.
I get irritated with myself and frustrated. So that's probably the the memories.
That's good though. It's cool to have, something that
Yeah.
reminds you of why you do it. That because I've done that. I do that with stuff, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? And then I'm like, oh,
That's
you got to
why.
remember
Look at the
that's why.
project. Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah,
And I'm
most
harder on
definitely.
myself. And I think that's why I've kind of limited who I do the cakes for sometimes because um, I'm so afraid that they say, oh, I want this. And their vision is going to be totally different than what I'm getting from them saying, hey, I want this. So I worry that, they're going to be pissed
I don't
off.
think you should worry. You make fantastic cakes. I don't care what.
And they
That's
that's the thing. They taste good.
yeah, I mean like that's and it's all made from scratch. You don't
Yeah.
mess around. It's not
Yep.
a you're not like me. I fake. I I I make
There's
the attempt with the box.
yeah,
Some
there's
days it turns out, some days it doesn't. I faked cookies the other day. It was pretty good. I did all right.
oh, did you buy
So
the cookie dough and bake them in the oven?
Nestle Toll House, the minis,
That's
yeah, 13 minutes. That's
Yep,
it. They're
and love
perfect.
that's her favorite thing. Trying to get her to not eat it raw and eat the whole thing before we bake it is a whole nother story.
That's yeah, that's funny. But yeah, some days though they won't go near the cookies I make because some days I can really mess them up. Oh yeah, it's
Aw,
amazing. I can cook like crazy, but I cannot fake. I'm not. It's not in my forte. I
yeah.
made bread once. Don ate it. He doesn't like red sauce. I've been with Don for a long time. We were best friends before we were together. So I guess we're about it like 32 years. I've been cooking red sauce forever. And just recently in the last year, I found out this man doesn't like red sauce. He's not a fan. I'm like, oh, I'll make sauce tonight. So my daughter makes Alfredo. So now
That's
she's
his
the
favorite.
chosen one. Yeah.
Yep.
To figure out
Yeah,
how
I
to make.
that for Chris because he can't eat red sauce because it
Oh,
messes with him. I do get him to eat a vodka sauce every once in a while. I'll make a
oh,
vodka sauce and he'll eat that. Doesn't tear
that's nice.
bad.
Too bad, right? The cheese
Yeah,
coats it.
he
That's
suffers.
what it is. It's worth suffering for, though, when it's good.
Yeah, and then he
No
yells,
suffering with the cake.
garlic. You put garlic in it.
Yeah,
How can
that's
you cook
Italian.
without garlic?
You, I didn't know you could cook without garlic.
He's over there hissing.
That's funny. Dawn and my grandson, you'll love this. They went to racetrack. We had them over the weekend. On Saturday, they go to racetrack. I'm getting soda. I'm outside on the phone, whatever. They come out and he's like, Mimi, I got a hot dog. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, a grape jelly hot dog. They were messing around at the condiments and Don
Uh-huh.
let him put grape jelly on this hot dog. That kid ate 2 of them this weekend. He likes grape jelly
Oh,
hot dogs. I'm like, that's the face I made. I'm like, oh, trying not to gag while he's eating it. He
you,
gobbled that thing up. I was like, bread and all. And I'm like, because kids usually don't eat, they make half
yeah,
the bread makes it,
right.
like, and then they shove the hot dog through there and
Wow.
now he ate it
Yeah.
all. Ugh. Yeah. It's kind of like mustard on pizza. I'm not sure I
Ew.
understand it. Ew. Right. Exactly. Ew.
I will
Okay.
a Hawaiian pizza though with ham and pineapple on it.
Yeah, see, I don't understand that either, but that's because I'm Italian. But
Yeah.
my mom used to put pineapple in the cottage cheese. You'd open the container, you go to eat it, and it was like, oh man, no. So yeah, I like pineapple just by itself.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Don eats ketchup in his cottage cheese. He's a weirdo too. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. But everybody's got their thing, right? I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm good with that. Okay, so if you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would that be? What's he laughing about?
I would tell my 25-year-old self to continue my education and I'd be a flippin' doctor right now. That's what
Okay.
I love what I do and I love the field that I'm in and everything that I've seen and done and over the years. Absolutely. I would be interventional radiologist. That's what I would be.
Okay. All right. That's a lot more school, like another 20
Oh
years
God.
worth, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there ain't no going back. I'm where I'm at.
Yeah, especially when you got kids. You're busy chasing them around, getting them through school and doing all
Yeah.
their
Yep.
extracurricular activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
crazy.
a whole
That's a
nother
good one
job
though.
in itself.
Yeah. And we haven't gotten the education one. I ask everybody that same question. Everybody gets the same questions. I have not gotten the education one yet. So that's a good one. That's a first also.
Yeah.
Okay. So if money didn't matter and you could go on a ride on your motorcycle with anyone you wanted, anywhere you wanted, Where would that be and with who?
For sure, the trip would be my cousin a few years ago. He lives in Warner Robins, Georgia. He got on his motorcycle and rode cross country up into Alaska, through Canada, and back down. And the pictures, Sam and I, every day we got up we couldn't wait to see what pictures. His girlfriend, his wife now, but at the time it was his girlfriend. She was there for part of the trip, but she couldn't get that amount of time off. So she flew back and he continued on. But that would
Nice.
sure be the trip, because it was absolutely an amazing trip. Just following him and seeing what he saw in the pictures every day. That would be for sure. And then with obviously Chris and some other friends of ours, my dad for sure. And
Yeah.
I wish Johnny O were still around, because I would like to take him and his wife Pam on that trip too.
Yeah. He is amazing. He was an amazing man for sure.
Great. Absolutely.
Some of my first bike shows he was at, and
Yeah.
always supportive and always go, come on, get out
Yep.
there. Let's do this. He was always upbeat and
Yep.
positive and, just loud in a happy kind of way. It was always a good thing. So
Yep. Like he would call me Slim. He was like, "Hey Slim, come here."
that's funny. Got you the Slim.
Yeah, and I wasn't slim, so
You're so funny. You're gorgeous. That is funny.
But yeah.
So,
Yep.
tell us something about yourself that others may not know.
Petrified of frogs.
Really?
Petrified of frogs. I can see a spider, won't bother me. I could kill a spider, grab a spider, get it out of the way. Not a fan of snakes, but they don't scare me as much as frogs. There's a story.
There's a story. I'm sure there's a
always
story. Always a story. You gonna share the frog story with us?
Yeah, when I was little, I was about 4 years old. I had a bad habit, not out in public, but in the house. I'd walk by and somebody had set a cup down. I'd drink out of somebody else's cup. Didn't care. Just pick up your cup and take a sip. My dad thought that was a terrible habit and was gonna, fix me of that habit, cure me per se. We were living in Texas at the time. And he was out in the garage working on his Corvette. And a frog had hopped by, and he had a cup that had some orange soda in it, like a big gulp cup or whatever. So he caught the frog, put it in the cup, came in the house, set it on the counter. And what happens? Little Renee goes hopping by and picks up the cup, go like this, frog in the face, out, been petrified of frogs ever since. I will pick up and move a 300-pound man like he's nothing to get out of the way. My kids.
And there's some frogs that are like that though. They're just not. They're not pleasant frogs. Now they say frog means fully rely on God. That's what frog stands for.
Yes.
And we had a situation kind of similar where Don was coming home and I called him. I said, "There's like this evil tree frog on the door, and I don't want to go there."
Face.
That's the one that jumped on his face. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine." And it attacked him, and he's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Yeah, no more frogs." But you could tell he just didn't look like a happy frog, kind of like a frog in a big gulp cup. Probably was just wanting to get out of there.
Yeah, he just wanted to be free.
Oh yeah. So he's in a panic mode. You're taking a drink like it's nothing, and all of a sudden it's like
he was the size of my face. You think I was 4 years old, so it was a big gulp cup. So he was like, it was a Texas toad, man. It wasn't just like a tree frog. It was a toad.
That's a big one too. They're like the size of a softball.
Dad laughs to this day. He thinks,
of course.
Yeah.
That's it. Toughen up.
Yep.
That's right. That's funny. Now, do you have siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than me. Yep.
Gotcha. So you were the first boy in the family, even though you were a girl, because that's how girls are.
For sure.
Yes.
For
definitely.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I remember my brother was a baby. So my dad was in the process of opening up his shop, and my dad, you won't say this these days because it has a whole nother meaning, but my dad was what they call a tranny man. Transmissions were his thing, and that's what they called them. And but I remember my dad bringing transmission home, opening up the table in the kitchen and setting it in, using where you would set the leaf of the table. No, he would pull the transmission apart
That's awesome.
table, the center of the kitchen table to, hold the transmission there and taking it apart. And, I remember him taking the bearings out and, showing me and just all these different things, so.
That's cool. Those are great
Yeah.
memories too. Those are
Yeah.
great memories to have. And now I see what Sam. It's good that Sammy's getting in the garage with Chris a little bit. I really am happy about that. Again,
Yeah.
we'll let her get some footing, and then you can send her down my way, and I'll put
I
her to
will.
work.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. We'll contribute to the college fund. We'll
Right.
make sure we do that. So, lastly, if you could tell us your 5 good things.
Okay. Let's see, my family. I've got, Chris and Sam and my son Cody, really good. So that's good things. My career, I have a great career. And I think in general, just, the upbringing that I had, that's another good thing, I'm very grateful for that, what is that? 3? Or is
Yeah.
that? Motorcycles, because
I love it.
that's definitely one thing I'm grateful for. It's definitely relief. And then, the friends too, the friends I've met that, like you said, have become family. I've got a whole, I've met you through Chris, so that's great. You guys, my friend Stacy, who I've gotten pretty close with, the ones that introduced Chris and I, Donna and Tom, grateful for all of them,
That is so cool.
Yep. And then what else? Gosh, I'm stumped. I need another
It's
one.
okay.
I'll think about it. Give me a minute.
It's all good. You can have all the minutes you want, honey. It's guess what? It's my show, so I don't have to turn it off until I want to turn it off.
I feel bad. I want to make
It's
you
too
go.
funny.
People are like, "Oh my God, I need to go to bed."
Yeah, no, they'll sign out and they'll come back and watch again tomorrow. It's kind of funny. I have quite the weekday following where I guess at work it's okay to click on and listen and work, and I'm working on motorcycles during the day, so it doesn't work out that way for me.
Huh?
So what'd he say?
He said that's what he usually does.
Right.
He'll go in and he'll watch after.
Mhm.
On lunch break. I'm sure.
Stop. We wanted to hear from the peanut gallery. All right, over there, mister.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm sure the last one is hopping around your house somewhere.
Yeah, my bunny, my bun. He's so sweet. Where is
What's
he?
his name?
His name is Vladimir Tepish. We call him Vladdy or Bun.
Vladimir Tepish.
Vladimir Tepish.
Okay.
Sweet. Chris is bringing him over.
Isn't that the Impaler?
Not Vladimir the Impaler. Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Vladdy.
Oh. Hi, Vladdy. Nice to see you. Oh my God, that's so awesome. He's like an exceptionally royal looking bunny rabbit. He has his headgear on.
Yeah, he's what they call a lion head bunny. He's actually Sam's bunny.
Okay.
I'm
Now he lives in the house. He just hops around.
Yeah. Yes. We had made like this 4x4 pen for him, and when we were home, we would let him hop around. That's another funny memory. I came home one night. Chris had been sitting on the tablet when we first had the bunny. He was younger. Chris, doesn't have any children of his own. So what do you not do? When they're quiet, they're into something.
Something's up, right?
So he's on his tablet, and then all of a sudden he loses internet.
Oh, shit.
I come home and Chris is a little bit hot because he has no Wi-Fi. And it was because the bunny had chewed the internet cable. Then the bunny, he can't do that anymore because he had a really bad underbite, and they don't have rabbit dentists or
Right.
So unfortunately, we had to have his front teeth pulled because they just kept growing so fast that there was nothing, it was either bring him every week into the vet to get him trimmed, and the vet's like, no, that's not humane. Let's take his teeth.
Right.
So when we got him fixed, they took his teeth out, so he can't really chew anything. So he doesn't chew anything. So
Just
we
on
don't
a like, soft diet.
or well, no, he eats a regular diet, but he can't like his greens that we just cut them up a little bit for him and put them in his bowl. But he eats his pellets, he eats his hay, but he can't chew wires and cables and walls and baseboards. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
Now he's essentially a free roam bunny. We leave
Free
the gate.
roam bunny.
Yeah, so we close our bedroom door and we have a pocket door going back to the other bedrooms, but other than that, he runs around the house all day while we're gone, and he goes into his pen. He likes it over there. He's got a little bunny castle, so he goes in there and naps. Or I have a table, and under it I have my totes that I keep all my cake stuff in, and he likes to get up in there on that top tote. So that's where he lives, and he comes in and we play hide and seek with him, and we're goofballs. We'll lay on the floor and he'll go running back and forth under our bed from one side of the bed to me, to Chris, to me, and we lay on the floor and he climbs.
Oh, neat.
But yeah, so it's like having a child.
Yeah, and he's got real personality. That's cool.
He's
You don't really ever get to talk to anybody about a bunny rabbit, you know,
but
like
he's
you would
quiet,
think.
you know. And the thing is, we're not home. I leave the house at 6:30 in the morning, and I get out of work at 5. I pick Sam up from practice at school, or go to a meet or a game or practice, and we don't get home till 10 o'clock at night. Chris doesn't get home till 8:30, 8:30 at night. So if we had a dog, it would be fair. That's the only reason we haven't gotten another dog, is because we're just not home. And then we travel on the weekends. The bunny, I can put him in my, in a tote bag and take him into a hotel with us. With us. So I don't need to leave him home anymore because he doesn't chew.
Has the bunny ever ridden on the motorcycle?
No, he has not.
Oh, we're going to have to see how that works out.
I don't think that would work out. I don't think he would like that.
Do you think it would stress him out?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, let's not hurt the bunny.
I mean, when we went away this summer, he was up at my mom's with Sam for the week. And then we brought him home in Chris's, panty dropper in the minivan.
The minivan.
Yeah, he was hopping around the van, and then Sam held him, and he was just chilling on her chest, sleeping.
That's cool. That is very cool.
So
I'll have to meet Vladimir someday because he is awesome. He's got all that cool fur. That is so awesome.
It's all over the house. It's like tumbleweeds, though. I never thought.
Right, I was gonna say it's like a long-haired dog. Everywhere.
Crap. Yeah, it's like my golden retrievers. I used to have tumbleweeds blowing through the house,
Mm-hmm. You can vacuum every day. It doesn't matter. You still get them.
Yeah, I want one of those electro robot vacuum.
Oh, the Roomba.
Yeah.
My daughter bought me one of those and I gave it back.
Did you? You didn't like it?
The dog didn't like it. It was so noisy, and then it would get stuck, and it would send alerts to my phone and tell me it was stuck, and I was worried that it's gonna catch on fire. Everything's gonna burn to the ground. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not much on the whole, because I guess I have too much furniture or whatever. It would bounce here and bounce there and get stuck. So, well, I can't thank you enough for staying up and being here with me. I'm so excited. It's so fantastic. And I can't wait until we're going to go have dinner, all four of us, on a Monday early before I do a show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm good with that. Well, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for always your friendship, of course, because you mean the world to me.
You as well.
Thanks for participating and being a guest here and letting everybody get to know you. And then if you guys want to harass her better half, he is the service manager at Palm Beach Harley Davidson. So please, you have newer bikes, bring them over there. That's our dealership of choice. And same thing backwards. If we can ever do anything to help any of you guys out there, we're here for you. All right, Miss Renee. Love to you, Chris, Sammy, and Cody, and the bunny. Mwah. Good night. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Good night.
All right, kiddo.
Good night there, lady.
How awesomely cool. I love Miss Renee. I'm so lucky. I am blessed to have so many wonderful people in my life, like you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Okay, so quick afterthought. Effort. Everything's worth the effort. We talked about it. If we can do something to help out anywhere we can, remember that Tom's pointing at the camera. Look at the camera, Athena. everybody's having a hard time in Maui. Remember, hashtag Maui Strong. If you want to volunteer or you want to donate, please make sure it's a reputable charity that you're donating to so that the funds go to the people who need it. Again, Washington, wildfires, floods in California. Anybody, just give of yourself. Give some time. If you have money, give some money. If you can give both, that's great. If you can put someone up who needs a roof over their head for a hot minute, any way you can help out, it's always greatly appreciated. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for others. It's a good thing. All right. So remember, be kind to yourself and others. It matters. Spread your sunshine even on the rainy days. And next week, it's going to be even better. We're going to push some more buttons. We're going to add some little features and overlays. I think we'll have a little more stuff on the walls if I can work it all out right. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great evening. I will see you back here next week, 10 p.m. Thanks to our sponsor, Techno Research. Thanks to Don for being so wonderful. Thank you, Lance, Ivy, everybody watching out there. Thanks for all the comments, and we're going to figure out how to get those in there too. Don's, he's doing good. He's pushing buttons. All right. You guys have a great week. I will see you next Monday. Oh, next Monday is the 28th. That's our anniversary, babe. That's our wedding anniversary. But we'll be here. We will be here for sure. And okay, we'll have another great guest. I love you all. Have a great chopper week. Mwah, mwah.